All right, just a quick little debrief video here to go over one of the intercepts from tonight's flight. It was my first flight in virtual CVW8's TSTA, which was pretty awesome. I had some Tomcats come in from Event 1, got to wave those guys aboard, and then went flying with Boomer in Event 2 Delta 1. We were going to go up and do some BVR work in the BVR lab up to the north. Unfortunately, Boomer had a DCS crash, and after the first intercept that we ran, he ended up dropping out of game and had to go. So I had 3 missiles to work with and a little bit of time to still work within fuel, so decided to try my hand at this single group of MiG-29 alphas in the north. And so I'm using SAR-2 timelines here, just trying to execute in accordance with the numbers, stuff I haven't done for a while since SFARP Phase 2. So we'll just kind of step through how this goes. And so the commit comes at 65 nautical miles. I'm not getting great radar detection on these guys, and I'm not using any E2 control at this point because I didn't want to clutter up the other element of fighters that were working on the same control frequency. So just doing this with radar only. You can see the MiG-29 separate. I'm looking for a brick at this point. It's 45 nautical miles. I'm still not getting anything. I've necked down my azimuth and my bar, and I'm still not seeing anything. I switched to Twiz, and at that point it does break out too. And I've got 2 bricks on both aircraft situated lead trail. So I will sort the leader, planning not to shoot um, Fox 3 times 2 here, or Fox, excuse me, Fox 3 2 ship. I'm going to just shoot the lead bandit and then see how that does because I want to execute my out mechanics here and use the timeline. So at 45, I've got a brick now and I'm starting to target. So you can see 35. I'm coming up on 36. There's 35, and Colt 11 takes a Fox 3 sorted lead man, a single group, and valid at trigger squeeze, valid for time of flight, supported to a pit bull. You'll see I do support this pit bull because of the longer range of the shot at 35. I think I get a little bore sighted here. The missile does not end up going pit bull by 23. I'm still watching the countdown timer, so I actually take this inside minimum out range, which isn't great if I was going up against a SAR-2 threat, but these guys are SAR-1, so I've got a little bit of slop to work with, but not a good habit to get into. Um, and so there we're inside, and so I begin my outmaneuver at about 21 miles, 20 and a half miles. So Colt 11 goes out at 21. Missile is pit bull, and that missile will guide and fuse despite chaff flares. Okay, so at this point, again, I don't have instant recognition because I can't see the splash. Um, so I'm trying to assess which of these tracks did they both die? Was the first missile successful? I don't know. So I'm flowing cold a little bit trying to sort that out. Picture settles out and I've got a single track remaining. So at that point, I'm using the step function on the SA page to get a good bra to that group. And I see I've got 25 miles. So looking for 16 miles minimum reattack range on this timeline. I've got 25, so that's plenty. I decide I need to go ahead and get started on these reattacks. I have 2 AMRAAM remaining. A good amount of fuel, but no solid delouse option. The ship is 80 miles away, and I'm not even sure if the small boys are set up to delouse right now. So I'm starting to get a little concerned here if I don't have success against this last guy. But we'll execute our first reattack here at 25 miles. So Colt 11 is in. Executing reattack mech. I've got my cursor set up on the left side of the reattacks of the radar attack display, looking for first that mids track to pop up on the left side, which I use to kind of cue my designation on the radar attack. It quickly isolates and scans that area and finds a track. So I get a track pretty quickly out of RWS and take a shot at, I think it's about 22. So right here, Colt 11 is Fox 3, single man, single group at 21 and a half miles, valid at trigger squeeze, supported time of flight, and supported pit bull. So we'll see that missile go out. I do get it to a pit bull. I'm feeling pretty good about this reattack. The next wicket that I'm thinking about is MAR, minimum abort range, but I support to a pit bull prior to MAR, So when I go out, I don't execute an abort. And again, this is against a SAR-1 threat, so I'm not overly concerned, but something to keep in the back of your mind. Yes, I'm outside 12 miles from my MAR abort, but we'll see how this works out. So missile is Pitbull, Colt 1-1 is out, and the missile tries, Bandit defends, chaff flares, and unsuccessful. So at this point, um, Colt 1-1 is assessed that there should have been timeout, and that track is still coming, and I still have 29 nails at my 6. So I've got 16 miles range. I'm using the step function again, taking a look at it. I know 16 is my minimum reattack range, so I'm recognizing here, okay, I've got one missile left. I'm going to have to do something about this guy. So I'm watching that tick down. I realize, okay, well, it's time to do something. So at 16 miles, Colt 1-1 executes a reattack to the south. Again, setting the radar cursors up on the left side of this radar attack display. Get a nice cueing from the mids track, and then take a quick lock on that bandit with another Fox 3, final Fox 3 at about 13 miles. That missile is also supported to a pit bull, no shots out of the bandit, and at this point, Colt 1-1 does begin to execute a MAR abort at 9.69 miles. This missile, thankfully, will guide infuse and kill that last bandit. So it was a good exercise to go out there. The first intercept didn't go all that great in the sense that Colt 1-1 attempted a Fox 3-2 ship, and just weird radar symbology ended up, after the shots were in the air, the radar glommed off on the missiles themselves and stopped giving updates to the bandits. And so Colt 1-1 goes out, just not knowing, thinking both missiles are trashed. One of them does, in fact, guide and fuse, and Colt 1-2 is able to clean up the trailer with a shot that was admittedly behind timeline. But again, this is our first flight in quite a while, first flight for Boomer in a long time. So getting out there and trying to knock the rust off when it came to these timeline stuff. But great first flight on Testa, a lot of good times, and looking forward to future ones.